guys, I'm just here to do some colouring today. So this is from a Harry Potter colouring book, and I quite like the look of this Weasley and Weasley page. So I thought I would use these big intensity colours and try to make the picture as colourful as possible. So I'm just going to randomly pick a pen. So this is a blue colour, and I'm going to start with the word George. Oh, they're very thick, these pens. But it's a really nice colour, a really nice blue colour. So I'm just going to colour in the G. And then I might do another letter in that colour as well. So I'll go for this R colour. So these are quite thick, so I'm probably going to have to use something else when I want to do the more finer detail. Okay, so just colouring in that R at the moment. So I am a big Harry Potter fan. And I am currently listening yet again to the books on Audible, read by the fabulous Stephen Fry, and I will probably watch the films again soon. They tend to be when I need a bit of cheering up. I'll put them on because I pretty much know every word and it's comfort viewing. Okay, so I'm just going to do the S in this colour too. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to pick a different colour. Some of the other letters. So I'm going to go for this kind of green colour, jade green. Might be quite similar actually, but never mind. So I'm going to do this E here. There we go. They're good pens because they've got loads of ink, so they just go on the paper really smoothly. That really looks like exactly the same colour in this light. Never mind, never mind. I'll use a contrasting colour for the remaining ones. So I'm just going to do this second G in George. Okay. There we go. Just get round that last bit there. Like I say, they're quite thick nibs. There. So it's quite difficult. So I'm going to do this little apostrophe as well. There we go. Okay, so I just took a quick break to get some other pens, and I found these fine liners, which are quite good. So when I do the more intricate, smaller spaces, I can use these colours as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pick another brighter colour. So I'm going to go for this shade of pink, which is called Pink Flamingo. Okay, so I'm going to do the O. Oh, this is a little bit thinner. That's strange. I don't know why. I thought they were all exactly the same, but this one seems a little bit thinner than the others. Never mind. There we go. So I'm just going to colour that O in. So it's a bit of a contrast to the other two colours. And I'm going to do this E down here. So this is George's Compendium Box of Pyrotech Tricks Firecrackers. I don't know why they're only George's and not Fred's. This is such a bad admission for a Harry Potter fan, but I can never, ever, ever remember which twin doesn't quite make it to the end. It's a terrible admission, isn't it? I just forget which one it is. I can never keep it in my head. Terrible. So, that's the word George's. Okay. So I'm going to have a little look at some of these colours. And there's quite a nice sort of shade of dark pink. No colour on that one though. So I'm going to just do the word compendium in this colour, because these are very, very fine. You can see the difference there. Okay. I've got my two dogs in the room with me, so I'm just hoping that they keep quiet. They're not known for keeping quiet, so I'm hoping the calming atmosphere will be good for them. So just colouring in this word compendium, all in this nice pink shade. And then I might pick some of the other colours up here, get similar colours to do some of the others. There we go. So we're just doing this P and then moving on to the E. There we go. So that's nearly done. And then the N on compendium. There we go. So it's been a while since I've done any recording, so I'm just hoping I'll be able to get it done uninterrupted. It's the trouble when you live in a busy, noisy house. It's hard to find the time to record a video and actually get it finished. I think my daughter, who also does videos, has the same problem. But somehow she manages to do it and I don't. I'm just not managing my time very well at the moment, I think. So that's compendium, all done in pink. So I'm going to go back to this box of fine liners and see if I can get something similar. So they're kind of bluey, greeny sort of colours. So I've got a very dark green, which I've got a feeling might be a bit too dark. So we'll have a little try if I do this box of in this colour and just hope it's not too dark. does look more black than green. Oh, never mind. Just hope we can still see what it says. Box of. Okay. So yeah, that's very, very dark. But I think hopefully we should still be able to read it. Just get this O done. Let's get that one done round there. There we go. Then we can move on to the X. There we go. So, yeah, very, very dark. I can just about see that it is a dark green, but only just. So then I'm going to move on to the word of. Box of. I imagine if this was a real box, it probably wouldn't have these colours on. Never mind. Okay, so we're just finishing off the F in box of. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so now I might see if there's more of a lighter blue colour to brighten it up slightly. So this is quite a nice light blue, hopefully. Sometimes they don't always look like the colours that they are supposed to be. So I'm going to do this word here, Pyrotectrix. Oh, it's quite a nice shade actually, I like that, it's nice and bright. Good, wasn't sure if it was going to come out a lot darker, as a lot of them do. Okay, so I'm just doing the Y in pyro. There we go. And then the R. Okay. I do quite like just using like felt tip pens and just having blocks of colour when you're doing something like this. It's kind of simple and easy. I love doing pencil and shading when I'm doing sort of landscapey type pictures. But just for something simple and fun like this, it's great to just use basic colours and keep it simple. And it's good for the brain too, because I'm not very artistic, but I do enjoy creating things, but I cannot draw or paint at all. So this is a way for me to be creative without having to completely destroy things, which is what would happen if I tried to draw. I can just about draw a stick man, I think that's my limit. Always wish I'd learned though. There we go. Okay, so moving on to the H. And then moving on to another T. Pyrotectrix. I do love the imagination in Harry Potter. I think think everybody kind of wishes they could come up with a story like that, really, don't they? Okay, so that's the R. So then, gonna move on to the I. Oh, I do like this pen. It's a lovely colour and so easy to colour with. It goes on the paper really nicely. There's nothing worse than when they catch and drag and they're dry and horrible. I quite like that. So, compendium box of pyrotechnics. So I need another quite thin one to do the word firecrackers. So, just trying to think what I can use next. So maybe a bright green. So maybe we'll go for this. I'm not quite sure what this is going to look like. So it's a brightish green colour. It's a neon colour, this one. So we're just going to get the word firecrackers, which is very tiny little word. So that's the F and the I done. Another R. Very hard to do this. It's a good job these are so thin, these pens. It's very difficult. And then on to the E. Whoop. That's it. Ooh, I kind of lost the middle bit there. There we go. Then on to the C. And on to the R. And then we're going to do the A. I'm not sure I'm staying in the lines very well. But apparently it's good to colour outside the lines sometimes. So I'm told. Okay, so that's the C. Then we move on to the K. And then another E. There we go. And this is a nice colour as well. I quite like this colour. And the R on that one. And then the S. There we go. And that's the word firecrackers. Okay. So I'm going to go for quite a dark colour, I think, to do the highest quality words. So I'm going to go for a very dark blue, which will probably look black. Okay, this is the very dark blue. We're going to do highest quality, so this is going to be quite difficult because it's very, very tiny. And this is a very dark colour. Not sure I chose right there. Should have maybe stuck to a light colour. Oh well, never mind. So we're on to the I. Then the G. Just making my eyes go a bit funny. These tiny little letters. Ooh, struggling to see the line of the G. Then we go on to another H. Okay, and the E. Ooh, I think I've just coloured in the... Whoops. I think I just coloured in too much of the E. And then we go on to the S. It's very hard to do. Making my eyes go a bit blurry. And the T. There we go. So I don't know if you can quite make that out, but it's not very good. It's not very good at all. And then we go on to the word quality. So I think I'm going to struggle a little bit again. There we go. There is the Q done. So then we go on to the U. And do the U. Okay. Round to the... because they're not capital letters, they're a little bit harder to do. There's a lot more twists and turns with the smaller letters. Just trying to fill in some of the bits I've missed. I can see little white patches. This H is really hard to do. Okay, now the L. I do wish they'd stuck to capital letters. So much easier. Another I. There we go. And another T. And finally the Y. Should tend to lose the little lines that they've drawn there. So I don't like that highest quality. It's not very good at all. It's definitely not quality colouring, that's for sure. Okay, so what I might move on to next is this Weasley and Weasley. So I'm just wondering whether to do the same. I might do one colour and then the mirroring one a different colour. So let's have a look. So if I do, let's think about this. Maybe this blue colour here, which may be more of a grey colour. Okay, I quite like the look of it. Just wondering if maybe it will be a bit dark, but we will have a go. Okay. It is quite dark, but I don't think it's too bad. So we'll just do this first W. Try and... that's it. There we go. Up there. That's quite good actually. These are not quite as small as the other letters I've just done. Maybe if I choose a slightly brighter colour for the Weasley at the bottom. Oop, I think I've just gone over the line on that one. I think I'm struggling to focus sometimes on the... I might do that star a slightly different colour just to make it stand out a bit. Okay, so now we're going on to the S. Okay, now the L. Go. So I've had a slight problem with my microphone. It's for some reason had stopped working properly. So I need to actually get another one. But I actually want to get one that isn't going to break on me too quickly. So I need to do my research. So I hope the sound's okay at the moment, as I'm just having to make do really. Okay, so that's the blue. So I think I might do a contrasting. What shall I do? I'm thinking maybe I don't know if red would be a bit much there. Maybe a different, slightly different green. So we'll try this green and hope for the best. On the Weasley that's mirrored underneath. It's quite a nice colour, quite like that. A bit darker than it looks on the pen lid though. I think sometimes you really have to test all your colours, don't you, before you actually use them. Okay, so that is the E done. Then it's upside down A. And I will leave the star. I think I'll do the stars the same colour. Right now the S. And the upside down L. And the E, which is upside down either way. Must be a technical name for that, but I don't know what it is. And the upside down Y. Okay. Now for the star, I think I'm going to use more of a maybe orangey colour. So we've got this shade of orange, so we'll see what this looks like. And I might do the and as well in that same colour. So I'm just going to do that star. I quite like that, makes it stand out a bit. And the star underneath as well, the same colour. There we go. And I'm going to do the and in the same colour as well. There we go, that's quite difficult to do as well, quite small little spaces. Okay, so that's that bit done. Okay, now I've just spotted some stars, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour these in the same colour while I've got the pen out. So we'll do this star first. I imagine all their products would be very bright and they would stand out, wouldn't they, on the shelves. Okay, now we're going to do the star over here. Get that one done. There we go, so all those stars are done. Okay, this one down here seems to be going into this picture of, I assume that's George and Fred. So I don't quite know whether to do that same colour, so I might leave that at the moment. But we have got, actually looking at this, lots of little stars all the way around. So I might actually, just thinking that's going to take quite a long time to do all that. It's going to make my eyes go very funny because they're so tiny. Now, can't decide whether to do them all the same colour or whether to change it slightly. I think I'll start all the the same colour. And then probably I'll get bored halfway through and decide I'm going to switch it up. Probably. I'm just thinking that some pencils actually would be quite good for this picture as well. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a little bit bored with doing this same colour all the way around. There's a lot of stars. A huge amount of stars. Okay, so my dogs have been quiet so far. I don't know why I'm saying it, because I'm going to end up tempting fate and they will start barking, no doubt. But I think they quite enjoy a nice, calm, relaxed atmosphere. Chills them out a bit. My one dog, he is 13. Is he 13? Coming up for 13. I think he's coming up for 13 in April. He's a rescue dog, we're not quite sure. But he's still like a puppy some days, so it's high energy sometimes. And he's got his younger playmate to keep him young as well, so I think that helps. So, yeah, I'm getting really bored with this colour. Yeah, I don't have the attention span to keep up with this colour, I don't think, so I might have to change it up slightly. But I might do the top ones in the same colour and then do different colours for the points. So, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to just turn the book around and do these top ones. I think that might make a bit more sense and then stop me getting too bored. Okay. It's a nice colour though, it's nice pen to colour with, it's nice and easy. Nice and smooth pens. I think it is worth spending a bit more money on pens sometimes. Not too much, but just because some of the very cheap ones just do not feel very nice to use. Okay, so did I do? No, I haven't done. Okay, so I stopped there. Okay, that's good. Right, let's just do this side as well. Okay. Okay. So we're just going onto this one. Then I've got to choose another colour to do some stars in, which is where it gets tricky. I might do like a yellow, and then it's more of a sort of a star colour, isn't it? Right, so that's that bit. So I'm just going to turn the book around. Not sure how this is looking on the camera. Right, so I said a yellow, didn't I? So if I go for a proper yellow, we'll keep the orange out, because I might do orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow. I might do it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the book on its side and start working on these ones here. Can't see that very well. bit of a shame. Yeah, it's not the best yellow I've ever used. It's quite dark. But we've started, so we better finish. Okay. So these stars are very fiddly. Just get some colour into them. Make them stand out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's not the brightest of yellows, which is a shame because it would have looked nice being a nice bright yellow. Never mind. It looks very bright when you look at the lid, but the colour isn't quite living up to the... I've got to go all the way up to there, haven't I? Thought I'd done then, but I haven't. So another row of stars here. Not sure if you can actually... Yeah, you can see. There we go. So I'm just looking, there's a can there with a flamingo on. So these are the different types of rockets. So flamingo, thunder, crystal, incantation, whammy rocket, and whiz bangs. And I'm not sure what that says. Boggart, is it? Boggart? I don't know. So these are the different rockets. Okay. So I'm getting very bored with doing stars. They're not the most fun to colour. It's very dull. Okay, so I think maybe I'll come back to the stars. Okay, so what I might do... Oh, we've got a Weasley and a Weasley up here as well. Quite small again. So I'm going to have to use my thinner pens. So I think I'm going to use slightly different colours. So I might use a nice bright red colour. Okay. Right, so just to get this Weasley and Weasley here, so I might start with a red and see how we get on with that. See how that colour looks. So that's a lovely bright red. I like that colour. Nice and bright. Oh, this is very small. It's making my eyes go funny. I probably should have my glasses on, to be honest. I need to just admit that I need them. So that's the W. Then we're going to do this E. It's quite a nice font that this Weasley and Weasley is done in. Okay, so we've got the A along here. And the S. That's it. I think it's a bit of a funny light as well, because the sun is just going down now, and I think I've got my lamp in probably the wrong place, so I could probably do with a little bit more light. It's lovely because the evenings are getting lighter, which is always a favourite of mine. I do not like the dark evenings. Okay, so that's the E, so then we move on to the Y. Get the Y done. Just wondering whether to do it all red, Weasley and Weasley. Yeah, I might do it all red actually. And I'm going to use this red for something else because I quite like the colour of it. So I'm going to do some of the rockets with a bit of this red on. Okay, apologies again, I had to stop it there. There was an interruption. So I'm just going to carry on with this Weasley and Weasley. I have moved my spotlight, but I think it's in the wrong place, so I'm just going to move it slightly. Okay, that's a bit better. Just stops the shadow and makes it just that bit easier to see these tiny small caps. Okay, so I'm just doing the W of the first word, second word, sorry, and then on to the E. Okay, so that's the E, and onto the A. These letters are a little bit fatter than the other ones, so they're a little bit easier to do. So I'm just finishing up the A and then onto the S. Okay. There we go. Okay. Just hope you can see where I'm actually colouring. So onto the L and onto the other E. The L was nice and easy, so quick to do. Okay, so I don't like these E's though. Keep colouring over the little space there. Now the last Y, which is quite nice to do. There we go, just do around there. Fabulous. There we go. So that's Weasley and Weasley done, which is quite cool. We've got some very big spaces. So I think what I might do is I might do some pencil colouring on those larger spaces, just because I think it's going to be too much of a harsh colour if I do it with pens. So because I quite like this red, I am going to move on and do some of these rockets with a little bit of red. So what I might start with is this one with the patterns on here. Okay, so I'm just going to move my pens out the way slightly. There we go. Whoops, make sure they don't fall over. Okay, so I'm this interesting pattern here. I'm hoping all this is dry. This has gone nice and kind of almost sparkly. They're a really nice colour actually. It's just a shame they're so thick. Okay, so I'm just going to start doing a bit of red on this rocket here, because I think red is a good colour for anything that is rocket related. Explosives. Okay, so I'm just going to go down and do some of this in red, just to bring some nice bright colour to the picture. Okay. And as always, it would be fantastic if anybody else is a bit like me and enjoys doing a little bit of colouring for relaxation. It's always great to see people's pictures as well. I'm sure they would put mine to shame, but I enjoy it. It's a bit of mindfulness, so I just carry on, do my own thing. And I think that's quite a good way to look at it. Just do your own thing. Enjoy being creative, even if you're not particularly talented. Does it matter? I don't think so. Okay. So this is quite a nice colour, bringing a bit of definition. Okay. There we go. So just working my way down all these funny little triangle shapes. It's been quite a while since I've done any colouring, and I realised that it's quite important that I do these things, because it's just relaxing, and being creative is important to well-being as well. Even if it's something you don't really think of, it's quite important. So I'm going to work on this one now and put a bit of red on here as well. So I'm just wondering where to do the red. So I might do it around, almost like these cube shapes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of red in some of these little spaces around these cubes. And there's more stars in the cubes. So I've got to think about what colour I'm going to do those. Which I might actually do the orange, because I do quite like the orange. I'm not so keen on the yellow. Actually, now it's dried, it does look a bit better. So perhaps it will be quite good to do some more of the yellow. It is a more realistic star colour, or how we like to draw stars anyway. Okay, so we're just doing alternate spaces on this rocket to give it a good blast of colour. And I think in my next video, when I carry on with this picture, I will get the pencils and perhaps do some of the more larger areas is just get a little bit of colour on them, because I'm assuming this is a box for these fireworks, so it needs to be colourful and eye-catching and in line with the Weasleys' characters, I guess. So like I said, I've been listening to the audiobooks just before I go to bed, so it takes me ages to finish a book because I put it on, put my headphones in, and I'm pretty much asleep within 5 minutes. So I have to go back and find out where I was, or I wake up at some ridiculous hour and I don't know what's going on in the story. So it's quite relaxing, I think. Stephen Fry's voice is very relaxing as well, so that always helps. Okay, so I think I'll just finish this space off and then I will look at maybe another colour. Perhaps keep them to a similar colour theme on these rockets. There we go. And another one there. Okay, so getting a bit more colourful, which is good. So I'm going to pick maybe a blue. So maybe, I don't think I've used this blue yet. So I think my table is too small, so that blue, you can see it in the light. So I'm going to come back up to this one now and do the other side of these triangles. Okay. So it's a little bit of a goal for me to get back to my colouring and just kind of switch off a bit, because there's a lot going on and it's nice to just zone out completely and try to switch the brain off. Okay, yeah, I quite like that. It's quite bold primary colours. It's very, very dark, this blue. A little bit darker than I possibly wanted. But I think it works. Anyway, like I said, it doesn't matter. What matters is we just do it. We do it and we create something. That's the important thing, I think, with anything creative, is just to do it. Especially if it's just for you and it's just for fun and it's just to switch the mind off. Life is always hectic. We've got a million things going on. And we need to switch everything off and just be, I think, just be. this rocket slowly. Just checking I'm not smudging any of the pens. So if anybody has any suggestions of microphones that are good, I would be very grateful. Because the one I was using was good, but like I say, it's just that we decided it's not going to pick up quite as well as it used to, which is very good when you're making videos. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of blue on this side as well. So I'm going to use these spaces that I left. There we go. So I've got plenty of this darker blue now. I'm not very keen on it because I think it's a little bit too dark. So I think once I've done this, I will just put it away for a bit. Okay. So we'll just finish up this rocket with this blue, and then I think I will call it a day, and I will finish the video, and then I will come back to it another day and try to finish it. I do apologise if you heard my dog bark. He's very naughty. I haven't let him in the room, so he has to go and pester other people. So I do apologise if you have heard him. I'm hoping somebody will let him out in the garden or something. He is a mummy's boy, that dog, so he does usually like to be wherever I am, so I should really have got him in the room before I started. I should know by now. He literally likes to be by my feet no matter what I'm doing, even if it's taking washing out the washing machine or anywhere. He just has to be there, usually under my feet. But he's a clingy little thing. Like I said, he's a rescue, so who knows. Okay, so we're starting to come together, but you can see how long these pictures do take, because I've been working on this for quite a while today and haven't got very far really, so but I am quite pleased with it so far. So hopefully you'll join me again and I can get it finished, or at least get some more of it done. Okay.